Hi, it's the first day of 2026, so Happy New Year, and I'm wishing everybody a prosperous New Year. I must apologise for not having posted for a while. I'm going through a few issues. I ended up being diagnosed with bowel cancer, which they've cut out. And I'm in that recovery phase now, and expecting to start chemotherapy in the next couple of weeks or so, and hopefully we'll move on from there. I have not done anything on the motorbike, or any of the motorbikes, truth be told. I was told by the surgeon I cannot lift anything heavier than a half empty kettle. When I suggested this was sort of like a big urn, they said no, small kettle, because obviously all the bits and pieces that they've sliced and diced have to all join back together. I think it's going to be about 8 weeks, or perhaps a little longer, before I can actually start doing things again, but that's me. In the meantime, I have, a little bit before I did the surgery, which was October, I actually looked at the Norton a bit more, and I have made some progress on the Trident, which is still sat here waiting to be finished off. Not a lot to do now. I have to put the primary, or the timing chest cover on, set the ignition timing, put the primary chain case on, but I need access to the nut to actually turn the engine over. All the electric start works, kick start works, all the gears change and everything, and just some tidying up basically, and that will be coming hopefully soon this year. I would like to have the Trident on the road for the spring, and I'm hoping it's going to be an early spring, but we shall see. Anyway, enjoy the little bits of investigation on the Norton, and as I say, I'll be getting back into that as soon as the Trident's out of the way, and yeah, you should see stuff happening. Thank you very much for bearing with me, and we'll talk again soon. I have wound out the clutch push rod adjuster in the center of the clutch, so that the push rod is actually recessed slightly into the into its shaft. The next thing to assemble is the clutch operating mechanism with the ball bearing inside, and then the clamp ring outside. That goes straight in there and screws up. Now you actually need to adjust this slot such that the operating arm points directly at the point where the cable goes in. Interestingly, although it's slightly smudged, I still have a mark from the last time I did this, and the idea is that you have to do this up. According to the gearbox video, he uses a punch. I have ordered a special tool from Andover Norton in this case, and that should be here in a couple of days, but in the meantime I'm probably going to use a punch. The operating arm sits in this gap here, and you can see that this needs to go back slightly to about that point. However, It's going to be a joggle between tapping this ring around and then keeping this in the straight line. So I shall come back once I've got that done. With the ring tight, you'll note that the punch actually rounds the corners off, so I have ordered a new ring as well for the next time I need to do this, which might be quite soon, depending on where that click is. I can now use the shaft backwards, of course, so I can actually see that the cable entry point brackets the mark I have on the crankcase, or gearbox case, sorry, to show the alignment. With the ring tight, I now need to fit the arm. This is new, so I'm not expecting any issues. That fits in there. And then the inner and outer roller with its screw. That goes in there, and then a nut on there, which is a nylock one, which I shall tighten up. One thing you need to do is to make sure that this will actually come up to there, and it rolls on this roller, and then the other end pushes the ball bearing, which pushes against the clutch push rod. I have fitted the gearbox outer cover, making sure that the spring was engaged in the ratchet, and I will fit the gear change lever and the kickstart lever, and make sure I can select all the gears and that I can turn the engine over with the kickstart. So I'll do that next.